Hello everyone, thanks for joining. Let's wait for some more minutes to start. Please stay connected.
Hey, hi all. Good morning. Am I audible?
Yeah, yes, Karthik, you are audible.
Shall we start or shall we wait for a couple of minutes, John?
We can wait for 2-4 minutes
Okay,
to start.
sure. John, shall we start? So it's around 11:05. Am I audible, guys? Before that,
Yeah,
just
yes. Yes, Karthik. Yeah, we can start.
Okay, fine. So hello everyone, very good morning. So thanks for your time to attend this webinar. So let me introduce myself. My name is Karthik. So I have around 15 plus years of experience in industry. So I am associated with CREDO for the past 8 years, like 7 to 8 years. So I am taking care of retail training over the weekends and on weekdays. And I'm also taking care of corporate training at CREDO Systems. Okay. So let me quickly bring up my slide. So the agenda for today's session is, today's webinar is, what is the need of Primavera in core industry? So are you able to see my screen? Guys, are you able to see my screen? You say yes or no, yeah, please.
Yeah, yes, it is visible, Karthik.
Okay, so let me quickly tell about the need of Primavera in core industry. So when I say core industry, right, it is all about the civil, mechanical, and electrical. And nowadays we are seeing that Primavera is being used in the IT industries as well, right? So we have a few decks to cover at this point. So let me go over that. So who should attend this webinar and who should attend this training? So if you ask me this, so this is applicable for freshers who want to start their career as a planning engineer, and this is applicable for experienced people who want to become a planning engineer. So they are into different field, maybe into site engineer, maybe as a site engineer, and few of them are a quality engineer. So they want to upskill themselves and they want to move to the planning side. They can attend this webinar, and also they can attend this training as well. Also the job seekers and quality engineers and site engineers who want to change their career to the planning side. So these folks can able to should able to attend this training and this webinar as well. And why people are willing to learn Primavera, right? So this is basically to enhance their career into the planning side. So Primavera is a basically user-friendly tool where it will help you to build a project, effective project management, right? So to handle the projects effectively, Primavera is very much used in the core industries, right? And then why Primavera is important? So nowadays, so so this is all about the project management concepts, like so in this deck, right? So we are letting you know about the importance of the project management. So basically, Primavera is a portfolio management tool, and here we are going to see the importance of project management, right? So with this Primavera, we'll be managing the projects, managing the programs, we'll be managing the portfolios. I will let you know that in the upcoming slides. So for the every money that are invested in the project, right? If you look at the right hand side of the slide, where right hand side of the image, so this is a survey that went in US in 2015. So it says that for every $1 billion that are invested in the project, about $122 million are getting wasted because of the poor project management or poor project performance. If you look at the survey in India, right? So for every amount that we are invested in a project, 8.1% of the money are getting wasted because of the poor project management, right? So it could be anything. It could be in terms of lack of planning or lack of quality, lack of cost planning, lack of identifying the risk. It could be of anything, right? So because of these reasons, these much amount of money are getting wasted because of the poor project management. So if you ask this question, why to learn Primavera? Primavera is important to learn to reduce the wastage of money and to ensure that we are delivering the effective, delivering the quality products to the customer without any deviations. Okay, let's move on. And so this slide is talk about the standard tools. So whenever you are into project management, right, it is important for everyone to use the right tools for the right project. So if you look at the image here, to handle, so never use a carpenter hammer on a metal. If you want to deal something in a metal, this hammer will not help you anywhere, right? And if you want to do something, if you look at the second image from the bottom, never use a file without handle. So it is very hard to do such things if we don't have a proper tool in place, right? So if Primavera is not there, what will happen? We will not be able to manage the projects effectively. So that is the importance of using Primavera. So standard tools is more important whenever you do a project management. And then, so if you look at the jobs, the demands, right? So these are the demands for Primavera in our industry. This is a job that we currently seen in the Naukri. This is a country-wise job that we have updated here. So if you take India, right? So approximately 20,000 jobs are there in India for Primavera. And for planning, as a planning engineer, Primavera, these many jobs are there. And this is a country-wise, state-wise, city-wise updates are there. So if you take Bangalore, it's around 4,431 jobs are there. And Chennai, 1,560 jobs are available. So if you take Mumbai, 5,287 jobs are available in Primavera at this moment. If you go and search for Primavera jobs in Naukri, so these are numbers that you will be seeing. And if you see, so this tool is not only used in India. So across the world, this tool is being used, and widely used countries, Gulf, India, and then Canada and Singapore. And then comes Australia. Next comes Australia. So these 5 countries are, they are using Primavera for their project management more than the other countries. So if you take Europe, it's comparatively less as compared to India, Gulf, and Canada, Australia, and Singapore. Okay, so we have a high demand for Primavera in industry. So one should learn Primavera. If one should have a knowledge in Primavera, they should be able to grab any of these opportunities in any of these locations. Right. Moving on. And this is the average salary for the planning engineer and the Primavera functional consultant. So these are all the different experience and roles are available in industry. So if one who graduated from the college, right? So they will be considered as a fresher, and they will be given a title as planning engineer for the first 2 years, and they will be getting a average salary. This is the average salary we have captured. So average salary for planning engineer as a fresher is $4,421. So this is average salary. It may go above, or it may be something less than that. It depends on the organization that you are in. It depends on the country that you are in. Okay. So this is a senior. So someone has raised a hand. Probably I will address the questions in the Q&A session. This will go for 40 minutes, and then the next 20 minutes I will be give to you for Q&A sessions. I will address all your queries. Okay, fine. And then the senior planning engineer. So where the experience range from 3 to 5 years. The average salary is $8,421. And next to senior planning engineer, the role comes as assistant manager planning, and then the manager or Primavera consultant planning, and next comes as a project head. So this is the average salary for these experience and roles. Moving on. So everyone will have these questions. How can I learn Primavera? Right. So here is the answer. So there are multiple ways to learn Primavera. One is a self-learn. That there are a lot of technical blogs are available. So a lot of articles that are available in online that you can choose any one of that. If you are self-organized, then you can go with the self-learn options. And a lot of video tutorials are there available in YouTube related to the Primavera. So if you are self-organized, then you can go with the self-learn way of learning the Primavera. And the other way is get trained by the industry experts. So we are here to train you because you don't know where to start and how to start. So we are here to learn you teach you about the Primavera from the basics, right? So from the industry professionals, you will get an in-depth knowledge in Primavera along with the hands-on exercise. And then a placement-oriented training. So this training, the training will help you to understand what exactly Primavera is and how it is used effectively. So we'll have an in-depth knowledge about the Primavera. On top of it, this training will help you to get you placed in the right company, right? So we'll talk about that in the upcoming slides. So these are the two different ways that one can learn Primavera. One is self-learn, another one is trained by the industry experts. So do you fall under one of these categories? So I trust that people here may fall in this category. So people start know where to start and what are the prerequisites and what are the basics that one needs to understand before start learning the Primavera, right? And there are, if you surf in the internet, right? If you prefer self-learning and if you surf in internet, you could see a lot of contents are available in internet. So you don't know where to start, what comes first and what comes next. So these questions definitely people will have. So also, there are a lot of case studies will not be available in internet, right? So though you learn Primavera, it is important for everyone to implement it, right? So then only people can able to understand things easier. So the theoretical explanation will not help anyone, right? Also, you will not have a clear understanding what is the best practices that are followed in industry. And industry expectation, of course, people will not aware what exactly the expectation from the industries for a planning engineer. So these questions, there are a lot of questions in these areas. So the Primavera training will help you to address all these things, right? And then people will not have understanding about how to prepare for an interview. Though you have experience in site as a site engineer, as a quality engineer, for Primavera you might be new to it, right? And you don't know what exactly the questions will come up. So we will be addressing all these kind of questions as part of the training program. So moving on. So how do you overcome all these questions, right? So as industry experts, we are providing you a Primavera training. So we have around, in training space, I have around 8+ years of experience, and overall we have around 15+ years of experience. And we are following a no PPT rule, right? So of course, the PPT, when I say no PPT rule, PPT will be there to explain the concept. That's it. Apart from that, we are believing more hands-on exercise. So we'll be giving you more hands-on practicals, and then we'll be giving you a regular assignments, and we expect everyone to complete the assignments on time, and the feedback will be captured on a regular basis, and that will be cascaded to the participants to ensure that everyone is on right track, right? And once after the training is completed, we will be discussing the interview-based questions, right? So what are the questions that are asked in the interview? So that can be divided into multiple things. One is a project management interview questions, Primavera interview questions, and then the general interview questions. So that will be classified into 3 categories, and we will be discussing about all these things as part of interview discussion, right? And then we will be giving you real-time case studies and project as part of the training program. So for each and every topic in Primavera, we will let you know what is the theoretical part of it, how to implement it practically, and we'll give you an assignments on a regular basis. And once after all the concept has been completed, we will give you a real-time case studies for you to work on, and we'll give you a project as well, right? So you should be in a position to complete those case studies and complete those projects at the end of the training program, maybe after a week of the training program. And that needs to be submitted, and we will be reviewing the projects and we'll be providing a feedback, what needs to be improved. So of course, definitely there'll be improvement areas for everyone. So then whatever that improvement areas that we we are letting you know, right? You should be in a position to improve that and implement the same in the projects and submit it after the implementation. All right. And once after the project completion, project is completed, we will be conducting a mock interview. Right. So this mock interview will really help everyone to attend a real interview with more confidence. Right. So after the first mock interview, so we'll be giving a time after the course completion. Right, we'll be giving a week of time, and then we'll ask you to prepare for a week and come down for a mock interview. So before you come down for a mock interview, you need to update your profile, right? So we will be sharing a sample profile with you all based on the experience that you have. See, some folks maybe maybe working as a site engineer for 3 to 5 years of experience. They are new to planning industry, right? So if you go back to the employer and say that, hey, I am new to planning, I learned Primavera, I did some course and somewhere, I don't have experience in it. People will not ready to give you a job. So you need to cook up your profile, stating that I have 3 years, 3.5 years of experience as a site engineer and 1.5 years experience as a planning engineer. So if you say 1.5 years of experience as a planning engineer, then you need to update your profile accordingly, right? And we'll be helping you to share the profile, sample profile to you. So you need to keep that as a bottom line, and then you need to cook up your profile based on your experience range, right? So what needs to be highlighted, because when it comes into a recruiter search, right, keywords is more important. So you need to place all the keywords over there. So we'll be sharing you the sample profile, and then we'll ask you to get ready your profile. So it will go for multiple iterations. So once after the multiple iteration is completed, your profile will be finalized, and then you should be good to attend a mock interview. All right. And so this training program will take max of 30 hours.
Hello.
Hello.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Continue, sir. Continue, sir.
Sorry?
Sorry, sir. Continue, sir.
Okay. Fine. So this is a 30 hours of training program, and so you give us a 30 hours of your time, and we'll give you your best career opportunities for sure. Right. So this way we can overcome the problem statement that we have. And here it talks about what is Primavera. So basically, Primavera is a portfolio management software where you can manage the entire portfolios, right? So one portfolio can have n number of programs, and each program can have a n number of projects. So there are a lot of project management softwares or project management tools are available. So out of that, the widely used is Primavera and MSP. So people will heard about that MSP, which is Microsoft project, where it has its own limitation, right? So it is capable to handle only the projects. It's a project management tool, whereas the Primavera is a portfolio management tool. So what is a portfolio? Say, for example, put it in a layman example. You could see L&T, right? So L&T is I would say L&T is a portfolio where it has multiple programs in it. Be it L&T boilers, L&T construction, L&T infotech. So this way we see multiple programs in L&T, and each program can have n number of projects. L&T boilers, take L&T boilers, right? They have a boiler plant in Surat, they have a boiler plant in Jamshedpur. So each and every program will have a multiple projects in it. So with this Primavera, we can manage the entire portfolio. When I say manage the entire portfolio, it includes we can manage the entire programs, we can manage the entire projects as well. So that is the importance of Primavera rather than MSP. Right? So moving on. So people will have these questions. Can I really learn Primavera? So most of the folks here have these questions. Of course, you can learn Primavera very easily. So So in order to learn Primavera, right? So you need to understand the process groups and their interactions. So if you look at this slide, so these 5, right? Initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and control, and then closure. So these are the 5 phases of the project life cycle. If you take project life cycle, these are the 5 things. Be it any project. The project could be a construction, the project could be oil and gas, or it could be IT, no matter what the project is, right? So all this falls under these 5 categories. So if you look at this slide, so this is the start of the project. So during the start phase, right? So the initiation will be discussed, initiation process will be discussed, and then the planning will be discussed. So what needs to be done, they will be doing, team will be doing effective planning. And once after the planning is completed, the execution process comes into picture. And once after the execution is completed, people may think that monitoring comes after the execution, but it's not true. Monitoring and control processes needs to be implemented in each and every phases. In planning phase, definitely monitoring control needs to be implemented. In the execution phase, monitoring control process needs to be implemented, and closure phase, monitoring control process needs to be implemented. So the reason being is, if planning is wrong, what will happen? If monitoring control process is not there, what will happen? If planning is wrong, the execution will go wrong, and then we'll be delivering a wrong product to the customers. All right. So monitoring and control comes under each phase of the project life cycle. Right. So these are process groups and the interactions. So we in Primavera, right, we'll be discussing more about the initiation process, planning process, execution process, monitoring control process, and then the closing process. So in Primavera, we will be handling all these things as part of Primavera P6. Moving on. And this is a project management timelines. So if you look at the x-axis says time and y-axis says cost and staffing level. So this is a bell curve. If this graph, it has multiple divisions. One is the start of the project, and the next phase is our initiation phase, and the next one is the actual work carried out, and finally it comes to closure. So if you look at the bell curve, as the time grows, the cost involved in our projects are increasing. So during the start of the project, the cost is very low, and as the time grows, the cost is getting increased. And in this phase, right, the cost will get as much as we cost will get grown as much as we have, and then towards the end of the closure of the project, the cost will be reduced, and it be ready. If you look at the curve, it's get increased and get stable, and towards the end of the project, the cost is getting reduced. So in Primavera, we will be learning how to manage these costings effectively and how to schedule it effectively. We'll be discussing all those topics as part of Primavera training. And then this talks about the cost and risk. So here the x-axis represents time, and y-axis represent the risk involved. So during the initial phases of the project, the cost involved is very less. As the time grows, the cost involved will get increased. So this is, if you look at the risk, right, this is exactly opposite to it. So during the initial phases of the project, you could see a lot of risk and uncertainty. So it is important for a risk manager to capture all the risks that are involved in a project, right? So it is not a responsibility of the planning engineer. So it is a responsibility nowadays. If you see each and every organization, they have a risk control engineer, where the responsibility of a risk control engineer is to identify the potential risk that may occur in their runway, right? So the risk is more when we start the projects, and uncertainty is more, of course. So these two are directly proportional. So as the time grows, the risk and uncertainty will get reduced. So in Primavera, we will be talking about the cost part, and then we'll be capturing all the possible risk as well. Moving on. So this is a triple constraints. So I'm not sure whether you have I mean, you heard about this term called triple constraints. So in this triangle, right? So this is a triangle where this is a project. So around the project, we see time, scope, and cost. If there are any deviations in the time and scope, right, then the resource will be impacted. Say, for example, during the initial phases of the planning, our scope is we have a certain scope, and we committed to complete those scope in a month. Assume that in a month we are planning to complete it. But if scope get changed, right, the time obviously should get changed. But what happens if client is concerned about the timings, then the resource are impacted. So we should be in a position to ramp up the resources, or we should be in a position to run the project 24/7 in order to meet the deadlines, right? So if time and scopes are get impacted, if there are any changes in the time and scope, the resource will get impacted. If there are any changes in the cost and scope, then the risk, it leads to potential risk. And if there are any changes in the time and cost, then the quality will get impacted. So this is all about the triple constraints in project management. This is not only related to the Primavera, this is related to the project management. And the critical path. So everyone have heard about the critical path, right? So so basically in a project management, there are two things are there. One is a critical path method, which is a CPM method, which is also called a critical path method. And someone have heard about the PERT method as well, program evaluation review technique, right? So people might have a confusion when to use a PERT method and when to use a critical path method. See, critical path method can be used when you are working in a project. Say, for example, you are into constructing a villa. You are into an organization where they are masters in constructing a villa, right? So if you are going to construct a villa in another geolocation, then you can use a CPM method for your project, in your project. Say, for example, your employer or your organization has signed up a government contract where they are planning to construct a new bridge, right? So which is new to them. Your organization does not have any experience in constructing a bridge. So since it's new to your organization, you guys need to implement a PERT method, which is a program evaluation review technique method. So wherein, so basically, whenever you are going to implement a research kind of project, then the PERT method will be used. Whenever you are going to use not a research kind of project, then the critical path method will be used in your project. Where the critical path is based on the longest series of the task that must be completed for a project to complete, right? So we'll be talking more about the critical path method in the training, where it is more important to understand what path is critical. It all depends on the relationship. It all depends on the duration that we are that you are spending in a project. So it all depends on the relationship predominantly. So if any of the activity get delayed, critical activities get delayed, then the entire project may get delayed. So I will show you that in a tool. And then we'll be talking about the reports, which is the last part of Primavera. So there are a lot of topics are there. I will let you know all these things. And this is the last part of Primavera where we are talking about the reports. So there are n number of reports that one can pull it out in Primavera. One among them is the activity look ahead reports. So if you want to pull any cost related reports, you can pull it out. If you want to pull any WBS related reports, you can pull it out. If you want to compare two different schedules, you can pull it out. Primavera will give you a leverage to pull all the reports which is available by default. On top of it, if you want to pull any custom reports, right, it gives you a leverage to create a custom reports on your own, and you can pull it out, you can print it out, or you can save as a PDF and send it to the client. But it is important for a planning engineer to pull the reports and send it back to the client on a daily basis, so that everyone is aware that what is the progress that is going on in a project, right? Moving on. So these are the success stories that we have in the last month, right? The May 2022. So we have these candidates, Manikandan, Giri, and Ashwin, who got placed in these companies after learning the Primavera P6. And we wish your name comes here in the upcoming months as well. And then, so here I will be letting you know the course journey, right? So we have a Primavera course content where we'll be sharing with you all. And then as part of enrollment, you need to look at the course content. You can touch base with the trainer if you are any queries. And then as part of enrollment, right? So this is learn by doing. So this is what we are recommending. It means that all the trainings are completely hands-on. For each and every topic, you need to complete the assignments and you need to complete the real-time projects. And after the course completion, we'll be sharing the resume, which we had a discussion already. And then we'll be conducting a mock interviews, which will help you to attend a real interview. So what's next? You need to upload your profile in the Naukri or Monster or LinkedIn, and then you need to look for opportunities, attend the interview, and get placed the high offers. And if you want to be a part of this successful future, what we recommend is we recommend you to opt for this Primavera training and get benefit out of it. So when we say Primavera training, that can be classified into two things. One is Primavera Basics and another one is Primavera Advanced. So Primavera Basics talks about the project management concepts, Primavera, what is Primavera, why Primavera is really required, what are the benefits of using Primavera, what is a Primavera architecture, what are the steps that are involved in Primavera, and then we'll give a tool for you to install. So after installing the tool, we'll go over the tool features, where what are the options that are available, what are the different toolbars that are available. We'll go over all those things. And then you will be in a position to understand how to create a EPS, how to create an OBS, what is EPS, what is OBS, and what is WBS, how to create a project, how to create an activity, how to create a role, how to create a resource, how to add a resources to the activity, how to update the cost for the resources, and how to update a calendar, how to create a calendar. When I say calendar, how to create a project calendar, how to create a resource calendar, how to create a global calendar, and how to set the timings, how to set the weekdays or weekends, how to set the standard works, non-standard, not exceptional, non-standards. So we will be discussing about all those things as part of calendar. And then we'll be discussing about the filters, we'll look ahead schedule, we'll be discussing about the layouts, we'll be discussing about the reflections concepts. And then, so these are all comes under the Primavera Basics, right? And then the scheduling part as well, how to schedule it and how to generate a report. So when I say report, there are some basic reports will be covered as part of the basics training. And when I say Primavera Advanced, it includes the basic content plus we'll be discussing about the resource leveling, activity usage spreadsheet, activity usage profile, resource usage spreadsheet, resource usage profile. We'll be discussing about the costings. We'll be discussing about the SPI, CPI, actual cost, planned cost, the end value cost. We'll be discussing about the planned value, end value curves, S curves. We'll be discussing about the scheduling techniques, different way of scheduling it. manual, how to update it manually, how to update progress, how to use apply actuals, and what are the different scheduling options are available, like progress override. So we'll be discussing about all those things. And then we'll be discussing about the schedule comparison. If you want to compare two different schedules, it gives you leverage to compare two different schedules. The schedule comparison option will give you leverage to compare two different schedules. And then we'll be discussing about the crashing and fast tracking mechanism, how to use it. And last but not least, the reports, the end-to-end reports, batch reports, reports about the risk, reports about cost. So we'll be discussing all those stuff as part of Primavera Advanced Training, right? So it will take 30 hours of 30 hours to complete the training. So when I say 30 hours, so these are 30 hours from the trainer end. So the similar amount of effort that we recommend you to put in. So put together, I would say it's a 60 hours program, 30 hours from the trainer end and 30 hours from the participants end. So here in at CREDO, we say that when we say Primavera, it includes the basics and advanced. But of course, if someone want to learn only the basics, of course, we can customize it and we can deliver it to you all. But our recommendation is to learn both basics and advanced, because at this moment you can say that, hey, I am a fresher. Why I need to learn advanced concepts? Right now, it is not needed for you. But as you grow up in a ladder, for sure you need to go and learn the advanced training as well. So it is always recommended to learn both basics and advanced to be a master in Primavera. Right? So it's not a rocket science. There are 22 steps that are involved in Primavera. If you have a keen understanding about all those 22 steps, you would be SME. So SME is something called a subject matter expertise. You should be SME in Primavera. And how much should I spend for my best future? So for Primavera, for both basics and advanced, we are charging 25,000. And people who are attending this webinar, if they enroll for this upcoming training schedule, right? So they will be getting a discount of 10,000 rupees. So 15,000 would be the fee for them. It includes Primavera basics and advanced. And will I get a job? So 100%, we have a dedicated placement team where we will be guiding you how to get a jobs, and we will be getting you the opportunities. And we have a lot of alumni who is working in India and abroad. So we are getting frequent recommendations from them, asking candidates who trained in Primavera. When I say train, so you need to cook up your profile and say that you have experience in Primavera. Right? So people will not give you time to get trained over there. So from day one, you should be billable. So you in a training, what's the takeaway from the training program would be, you should be in a position to gain 1 to 1.5 years of experience in Primavera. That should be the key takeaway out of this training program. And will I get a help after the completion of training? Yes, of course. You will be you will be touch base with us. We have a WhatsApp group where everyone is connected to it. And if you have any questions, please post it out over there. We will respond to your queries for sure. And what if I want to reference some topics again? We have a LMS, learning management system, where we have videos uploaded over there. With that, you can look at those videos even after the session is completed. And what if I'm not satisfied? So assume that you are paying, you are registering for a training, and if you are not satisfied, we are ready to pay you back if your goal is not achieved, right? So this is what we are promising you, and willing to stay ahead. Are you ready to look for a change? Please do let us know. We are happy to help you on this, right? So having said that, I have completed the webinar content. So moving on. So if you have any queries, participants, please let us know. And So John, I think if you look at my screen, John has shared the WhatsApp, John has shared the Google Forms link. So we recommend you to update fill the Google Forms, where it will help everyone to reach you out if you are looking for a training. And if you want to talk to me in person, talk to me over the phone, you can WhatsApp to this number. Probably CREDO team will connect you with me, and I will be happy to address all your queries for your successful career. Okay. So any questions? Let me stop sharing it. So I see a few folks has raised their hands. So the next 15 minutes is yours. Please clarify all your questions if you have it in your mind. Or don't hesitate to ask any questions, please.
Hi, sir. I have one question. I'm
Yeah.
Arun.
Yes.
So I have completed my civil engineering last year. So how do I get started with this? Is this suitable for me? Because I'm seeing a lot of opportunities in Primavera.
Yes. So Arun, you have completed degree last year. So nowadays,
Yes, sir.
yeah. So nowadays, industry is looking for young talents who has more knowledge in such tools, right? So because most of the companies, people are using Primavera and MSP. So for a freshers, what we would recommend is learn both Primavera and MSP. So here at CREDO, we'll be train you in both Primavera and MSP. The reason being is around in all the MNCs, right? People are using Primavera, but the mid-sized companies are still using MSP. So if you are looking for a job, we would recommend you to learn both MSP and Primavera put together. That way, you would be eligible to get an opportunity in MNCs as well as in the mid-sized organization. So if you learn Primavera, learn MSP is not a big deal. The concepts are one and same. All we need is how to use the tool effectively. That's it. So if you learn Primavera first, then learning MSP is not a big deal. It's a kind of Excel. All we need is how to use it effectively. That's it. We can learn MSP in within 10 hours. We can learn it. It will not take 30 hours as like Primavera. Does it answer your question, Arun?
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thanks, Arun. So, any other questions? I see someone has raised the hands during the training, during the webinar.
Karthik Harish has asked a question in the chat box. You can check it out, please.
Okay. Hi, sir. This is Harish. I have finished my BE Petroleum Engineering 2021 positive as a fresher. Primavera is difficult to learn. Okay, Harish, trust me, learning Primavera is not a difficult one. So you have completed your academics. It is not that much difficult, right? So if you completed your academics, then for sure you can learn Primavera P6 easily. So no doubt in it. So we have a step-by-step process, Harish, where we can ensure that your learnings are correct. We have such cadence to tight cadence to understand all the participants are understanding the concepts effectively, right? So you can learn Primavera very easily, no doubt in it. If you completed engineering, then learning Primavera is not a big deal. So let me quickly bring up the Primavera tool, as most of you might not get a chance to look at that. So if you have any queries, please keep me posted. In the meanwhile, let me quickly bring up the Primavera P6 software. So here you go. So this is a Primavera tool. This is a UI where you can see a lot of options at the lot of menus and lot of toolbars. If you see these many toolbars are available, and at the right hand side you can see these many toolbars, and these many projects have been created. Right. So these many project has been created as part of the training program. So this is all about the project, and this is all about WBS, and this is all about activities in a WBS, and this is a Gantt chart, right? So for each and every activity that we have posted, the Gantt chart, the bars will be displayed. And if you look at the costings, right, for each and every activity, based on the resources, based on the cost for the resources, the activity cost will get updated automatically. So if you are not using Primavera, right, so assume that in your organization, if you guys are using Excel sheet for a project management, what will happen if you update the cost wrongly? If you update the cost instead of 21,600, if you update it as 2,16,000, then the entire cost will get screwed up. So it is very tedious to understand where the deviation has happened. So in Primavera, we don't need to do anything manually. So if we update the cost for the resources based on the duration, it will automatically update the total planned cost. There are some math involved in it. It will automatically do that. We don't need to enter this cost manually. So that is the importance of using such tools. We don't need to worry about all these manual mathematical calculations. Instead, if you are not using Primavera and if you are using Excel sheet, you need to put a formula over there. So if you use formula, of course, the human errors may occur and will end up with a lot of confusion. Okay. Sorry, I heard someone asking question, but the voice is very feeble. Okay, so John, I don't see any questions from the participants. So
Yes, Karthik. Thank you. Thank you very much for the informative session.
thanks. Thanks.
Yeah, people, thank you for joining, everyone. Please use the form which is shared in the chat box to fill up and get your certifications for participation as well. Please stay connected so that we'll update you about the upcoming sessions and webinars as well. Thank you for joining and have a wonderful day.